Why do we create fake scenarios in our head? Have you ever created an entire conversation in your head with someone who isn't even there? You imagine what they'll say, then your reply, then their reply, and somehow, 20 minutes later, you've directed an entire Netflix series inside your brain. But here's the strange part. Psychology suggests this isn't always just overthinking. Your brain is actually built to simulate experiences that haven't happened yet. And one concept behind this is called mental simulation. Mental simulation is your brain's ability to imagine possible events before they happen. For example, you have a job interview tomorrow, but tonight, while lying in bed, your brain starts rehearsing. What if they ask me about my weakness? You'll say this, then maybe they'll ask that, and then I'll answer like this. But your brain has already lived through 3 different versions of it. And when this simulation is specifically focused on imagining future experiences, researchers often connect it with something called episodic future thinking. That means your mind takes pieces of past memories, people, places, emotions, and recombines them to construct a possible future. In simple words, your brain uses pieces of yesterday to create a movie about tomorrow. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Have you ever had an argument, and then 3 hours later, suddenly thought, Walt should have said this? So you replay the entire fight, except this time, you're confident your comeback is perfect, and the other person has absolutely nothing to say. Psychology calls this counterfactual thinking. Your brain creates an alternative version of reality. What if I had said something different? What if I had made another choice? What if that moment had gone another way? Sometimes this can help us learn from mistakes, but when the same scene keeps repeating again and again and again, it can turn into rumination. Rumination is repetitive thinking that circles around the same emotional problem without actually solving it. For example, someone leaves your message on scene, and your brain immediately starts, did he say something wrong? Are they angry? Did someone tell them something about me? Are they losing interest? One unread reply, and your brain creates 10 imaginary realities. But why is the brain so good at doing this? One important piece of the puzzle is a brain system called the default mode network. This network tends to become active during internally focused thought, like remembering the past, thinking about yourself, imagining other people's perspectives, and constructing possible futures. That's why sometimes, the moment the room becomes quiet, your brain becomes loud, you put your phone down, you turn off the lights, and suddenly, a conversation from 2019 returns for absolutely no reason. Makes this even stranger. Try telling yourself, do not think about that person. What happens? You think about them even more. This is related to ironic process theory. The harder you try to suppress a thought, the more your mind may keep checking whether you're still thinking about it, and that checking process can bring the thought right back. So when you say, one will not imagine that conversation again, just to make sure you're not thinking about it, which means you're thinking about it. So those fake scenarios in your head, sometimes they're mental simulation, your brain rehearsing what might happen. Sometimes they're episodic future thinking, your mind constructing a possible tomorrow. Sometimes they're counterfactual thinking, rewriting what already happened. Sometimes they become rumination, a repetitive loop that doesn't solve the problem. So what does your brain create most? Romantic scenarios, arguments, or conversations that will probably never happen? Comment below